Hi! I'm really excited about today's project. Something that I find thrilling is the way that clothing fits on 2D animated characters. It's not quite able to be replicated in this lifetime, and I think a big part of that reason is because of the physics that they can kind of manufacture in a 2D animated film or cartoon. You may be familiar with what I'm talking about. It's the way that clothes fit in Studio Ghibli films. The sleeves have this floating quality to them. The pants are kind of billowing. It kind of feels like none of the cloth is actually touching the human body and it's just kind of floating on them. And I adore it. I want all of my clothes to fit like this. I know I can't control the physics of the way that clothes actually fit human bodies in this world, but I think it is something I aspire to achieve. So today I'm going to give my best go at recreating one of my favorite cartoon character looks. The look that I want to recreate is the look that Julia wears in the movie Luca. I think this look is very cool and very wearable, and mainly I'm fascinated about the way that the pants fit. Aren't they just the coolest pants? I know. I'm not sure if I can replicate this exact vibe, but I'm going to do my very best to because I want this outfit on my body today. You guys may not know this about me, but I am not a stretch sewist. I'm very intimidated by stretch material, but I've had enough of being scared of it. So today we are going to get a little bit into some stretch sewing. I have gotten some reddy, corally, orangey stretch cotton and its counterpart in white. And my vision is to patchwork these together to make her stripy top. Bam! And this is the fabric that actually inspired me to take the plunge on this project. I had admired this look for a little while, but I hadn't seen denim in this color before. But then I found a few meters of this kind of bluey, greeny denim at Spotlight, and I was like, perfect! I'm not certain if I have enough of this. I've also never worked with denim that has a little bit of an elastane quality to it. I'm not excited about that, but also I was just like, this is exactly the color I'm looking for. So I just took the plunge and I got it. It's a great color. It's a great color. And finally, I've already created the third portion of this outfit, which is Julia's little hat. Is that how you say her name? Because I haven't watched the movie in a really long time and it's going to be really embarrassing if I edit this back and her name is Guilia, but I'm just going to assume that it's Julia. This little fisherman's hat is a crochet pattern that my boyfriend devised. He made a few of these in 2022, I think, and we sold them on my website. It's the cutest hat. Super quick and easy to whip up, and I shared the pattern, or I guess the instructions on how to make this, on my Patreon craft club from September. So if you're interested in learning how to make this hat, it's super easy. It would be a really good first crochet project. You can whip it up in like 2 hours max. And it doesn't take much yarn either. So a really cute little hat if you were interested. My hat I made out of wool and I love it. That's all I need to say. I've already pre-washed my fabric, so we're good to go. The first thing that I want to do is do up a quick toile of the pants because I want to experiment with the volume of the leg of the pant. I'm going to use the top portion of the Anna Allen Helene jeans because I'm not quite confident enough to figure out all of the construction yet of the top portion. And I just really want to nail that. So I'm going to use the pattern for the top and hopefully I can hack the pants to be huge and voluminous. But before I get into pattern hacking and twiling up these pants, I'm really excited to share with you the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. I love my journal. I mainly use it to organize all of my creative projects and write lists, but recently I've been wanting to get better at my self-reflection skills, my journaling skills, and just kind of documenting my life in a more artistic way. And to help me get better at this practice, I've been taking an awesome class on Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with thousands of engaging classes led by industry professionals across film, illustration, design, freelancing, and so much more. Skillshare can help you take your career, side hustles, passions, and hobbies to the next level. There's a huge variety of great genres to pick from on Skillshare, but some of them that are really interesting to me are the ones in sewing, of course, but also all of the art classes, especially detailing in gouache and hand sketching. And there's also some great classes that I want to take on entrepreneurship and how to build your brand online. But of course, right now I've been working on my journaling skills, so I've been taking a class called Art Journaling for Self-Care, 3 Exercises for Reflection and Growth by Amanda Rach Lee. In this class, Amanda broke down what art journaling is. She also supplied some great prompts so that I could get started on my page, and she also gave some really good pieces of information on how you can fill out the page and make it nice and artistic and colourful. I love taking Amanda's class on Skillshare, and I'll definitely be back for some more journaling and artistic classes soon so that I can keep getting better at my artistic journaling practice. Also, in exciting news, Skillshare have 3 new class topics to choose from, including creative careers, creative inspiration, and AI and innovation. So if those interest you, then be sure to get involved. And if you're interested in starting your learning journey with Skillshare, they have an excellent offer for you. The first 500 people to click the link in my description will receive 1 month free of Skillshare. So jump on that and click the link if you are keen. And thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Time to get back into the project. This will be really interesting. I've just taken the Helene jeans front and back and I've added quite a bit of width on either side and some length as well so I can make that cuff at the bottom. I have no idea how this is going to go. I've tried to keep all of the important parts of the pattern at the top the same measurements, so I'm just going to do a toile up and just see what this does. Toile time. Okay, you can't quite see, but this is the vibe. I've got some extremely voluminous cuffs and everything is fitting good up the top, which is what I wanted it to be. So I think I might just proceed with this. You can't even see the cuffs. My room is not big enough. Can you see them? Okay, toile done. Pants time. Well, all of my pattern pieces are cut out, so I'm ready to sew. I'm nervous about this denim being a little bit stretchy. Usually with stretch, you're meant to use an overlocker or a zigzag stitch, but I really want to sew on my industrial, so I've put in a ballpoint needle. The guy at the sewing machine store said that his mum sews stretch with a ballpoint needle on her straight stitch industrial, and I was like, he was like, yeah, it's fine. So I'm just gonna do that. Last time I sewed a slightly stretchy material, I did my straight stitch and the stitches kind of popped over time. So I did a little practice and I've been doing this and none of the stitches are popping. It seems like it's fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fingers cross it.
I linked a more in-depth video of me making these jeans if you're interested, but for today I thought while I make the Helene jeans I wanted to answer one of your questions from the comment section. Someone asked how I select my fabric when at the thrift store and if I look for certain things, and yes, I do. It's taken me a while to refine my selection process for sure, and I've definitely taken home a lot of flops, but I feel like I'm getting more confident these days. I generally look for 100% cotton or 100% linen cloth or fabrics or whatever you want to call it in near perfect condition. Sometimes I'll do a polycotton, but it has to be such a slave for me to stray into the polyester plastic fabric range. I'll always feel the fabrication to check its quality and ensure it still has plenty of life to give. So generally I'm trying to steer away from overly thin or discolored fabrics. And as my last general rule, the fabric has to really excite me for it to be valuable enough to buy it, or I have to have a specific vision for it, else I just end up accumulating too much random fabric in my stash.
I've been sewing for a little bit and I've still got a ways to go, so I'm just going to keep working on my jeans and hopefully they'll be finished when I show you. I do not like working with stretch denim. Never again. Even for a cute colorway, it's just not worth it. I feel very insecure about this fabrication choice. I'm almost done the jeans actually. I worked on them all afternoon last night and basically what I'm up to is just adding the waistband and figuring out what I want to do for the hem. The thing about the hem is that it's a really wide piece of material, and then if I cuff it twice, that's a lot of weight, so it just feels like it really wants to roll down. So I think I'm going to have to do some securing stitches, at least on the side seams, maybe more, to keep that cuff up. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to do a double rolled cuff or just iron over the raw edge by about 1/2 inch and then fold it up once to give the illusion of a double rolled cuff. The elasticated denim is fine. I will not touch it again, I think. But it's fine and it's actually really comfortable, so yeah. I'm working on the waistband right now and I'm going to show you how I do it because I think I want to add some sort of adjustable section at the back so I can tighten it if I want to, because I always have problems with my jeans fitting me right. I just feel like jeans need to fit perfect, and if you're a girl, your size is just going to fluctuate, so at some points those jeans are not going to fit right. So yeah, I'm going to add a little bit of an adjustable waist. Let me show. I'm just going to finish constructing the waistband as normal, and then I'm going to sew on top of it a little section that I can make adjustable. I've used this technique before in my like adjustable pleated skirt video. I learned the technique from an old thrifted skirt that I have, and it's awesome. I think this might be one of the last times I make these pants because I feel like it's time to start drafting my own trousers. I'm ready. I think I'm ready. I also really want to know how to make the insides of my trousers so beautiful. Right now they're a little bit like, but yeah, a girl can dream. We're getting there. You really don't want too much bulk here because we have to do a button and a buttonhole on either side. So I'm just trimming it down to a 1/2 inch, and then I'll press this seam allowance into the waistband. What I think I'll do is I'll top stitch from the front. So I'm going to pin from the front right along the edge and just ensure that that pin is going through the bottom of the waistband. And that means it'll just catch this underside. When I started making jeans, I really struggled with this technique, but it's getting easier now. So you should be able to see from the right side, I have my waistband pinned down. And then if I flip it over to the wrong side, those pins are running through the waistband and catching it. If they weren't catching it, then I would need to repin and just make sure, because I'm going to be stitching from the front. Okay, I'm going to stitch this down now. Well, in an absolutely shocking turn of events, the waistband is completely perfect. I don't think that I could actually tighten that anymore without it being uncomfortable. So I did really want to add an adjustable element, but it's just not necessary. I'll save the denim, and if I need to do it in the future, I can always add it if I need to bring it in a bit. But right now, like, that is what I would class as a perfect fit. So yeah, but if you do want to learn how to make that adjustable waistband, you can go watch this video. And I do that technique there. Kind of poorly, but hopefully you can get the gist. I think I'm just going to proceed to finish these pants. No adjustable element. This is my favorite part of any project, whipping out all of my grandma's notions and getting to pick buttons. Specifically buttons, it's my favorite thing to pick, but there are some other cool things in here. But anyway, please don't mind the mess in the background. These are my favorite buttons. I really like them because they're all kind of statements, and they're like a bigger size. So they're not necessarily like dress shirt buttons, but they are beautiful buttons. I'm trying to find my favorite. Oh, are you kidding? Gorgeous. This is a top favorite. Are you kidding? Incredible. Oh, I love this one. I know she goes. Bum 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 and no bum 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 bum. Sorry for the weird shot, but I'm gonna show you the buttons. Okay, button 1, button 2, button 3, a perfect match but a little boring. Button 4, button 5, kind of interesting. It's got a little star on it. Button 6 has the same colours as the top stitching and a little curve ball. Button 7. Though I will have picked. Let me know your favourite button in the comments. I can always change it. I suppose the heart wants what it wants, and my heart wants this button. So this button it shall get.
After selecting my button, it was then time to make the buttonhole, and I decided to sew this by hand, and I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the process of how I accomplished that.
I'm gonna stitch it first. That's right. Just forgot how to do it.
You'll see I've drawn 3 parallel lines, and I like to do my hand stitching along the outer 2 of those lines. This gives me a nice straight reference for where I'm going to be stitching, and it kind of helps keep the buttonhole together after you've opened up the buttonhole. I open it up on this center line of those 3 parallel lines, and then I like to get some glue and use that to kind of secure any raw edges or fraying that might be happening on the inside of the buttonhole. Then it's time to stitch. I do a little bit of a bar tack at the outside edge, and then once I get up to the gap where I've sliced through the fabric, I put my needle through that and it comes right out the other edge of that stitching line. Then I pass my needle through this little loop, and then I bring this knot so that it faces the inside edge of the buttonhole and pull it tight. Basically, the aim of the game is just to get these stitches as neat and as close as possible, like to each other, and that's just what's going to make it look good. And that's the whole thing. You just do the whole buttonhole. You can do a straight edge on both edges of the buttonhole, or like me, if you cut a tiny little circle out using, I think it's called an awl, you'll get this cool little circular effect on the inside edge of the buttonhole. That's a lot of technical talk, and hopefully it made sense.
It's real hard to show you, and I'm not sure if the cuffs are in frame, but I've kind of measured out where I like them to be, and I think I need to stitch them down. I just don't think this amount of weight is going to happily sit there on its own. It doesn't have enough structure, so I'm just deciding whether I want to machine stitch it, hand stitch it as a decorative feature, or if I want to do a really teeny tiny little blind stitch to keep it all together. I don't love the look of a stitched cuff. You can kind of tell that it's tacked on there, but I don't want to be tripping over them, you know. Well, the pants are done, and I'm now going to wear them in conjunction with my hat until I complete the third portion of this outfit, which is the top. I am not a stretch sewist. I have barely any practice, so this is going to be interesting even though it is a pretty simple shirt. Hers has a little bit of a mock neck situation going on, but I just know that I simply can't wear mock neck stuff or turtleneck stuff. It kind of just drives me crazy. So I'm going to go for a classic t-shirt. This is my favorite t-shirt fit. It's by Cos, and I think I'm going to try and use this as my pattern. Her shirt looks like it's quite fitted, but I just think I'm going to go for a shirt that I really like the fit on me, because then I'll like the end product more. Also, can I just say how illegal it felt to sew down these cuffs? I just feel like cuffs should not be restricted like this.
To clone my Cos t-shirt, I just traced the side seam and the hem, and I also used my little tracing wheel to try and get the shape of the collar right and the armhole, and then it was time to do the sleeve, so I just kind of folded it like this, and then I used my tracing wheel again. Pretty easy, and I just made sure to add some seam allowance for every single seam that was going to be sewn, if that makes sense.
Honestly, I have no idea how the stripes are going to work. Obviously the stripes in the front and back are relatively easy, but I really want to be able to do the pattern matching on the sleeve, which Julia has on her shirt. I know I get a bit particular about details like this, but I think it is kind of fun to be, and it helps me get better at my sewing if I just question how things are made. So yeah, no regrets. Anyway, it's toile time because I just need to see that these pattern pieces actually do fit together.
Toile time.
I just finished my t-shirt toile. I'm really happy with the fit of it. I think I just need to bring the neckline in by about 1/4 of an inch, maybe even like 1/2 of an inch all the way around, just a little bit wide for my taste. And I also need to do a little bit of frantic research on how to finish a neckline properly. The neckline is always where I struggle. I'm just not certain. Not a bad toile. Figure out the stripes tomorrow and finish it off then. It's the next day. I am really excited to be on the home stretch. We are going to get into this t-shirt. I'm going to conquer it. Because honestly, I really like my little toile, so I'm feeling good. The only other thing is, after sleeping on it, I just think it's stupid to hand stitch these cuffs down. And I was looking at pictures of cuff jeans on Pinterest, and it's just pretty much unheard of to stitch a cuff down, I think. It seems like if it's going to be a really wide cuff, they just roll it up once. So I think I'm going to roll it up once and maybe just do a securing hand stitch on either side of the seam and see how it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna unpick that. I feel weird about it. Gotta make the shirt and then we're done. Also, I just realized I never showed you my sketch for this project, and here it is. It just reminded me that I have to do this patch, but I'll do it later. And this is what we want: 3 orange stripes, 3 white stripes in this order. That's what she has. 3.5, 3.5, white, orange, white, orange, white, orange, white. Great, and now I just need to transfer that onto this. So my stripes are divided up into 3.5 inch wide stripes. And instead of cutting out the stripes to match that pattern piece perfectly, I'm just going to create 2 big stripy textiles for the front and back, and then cut my pattern piece out of them. Okay, we just repeat that. What's so silly is I have been looking forward to making this project for a really long time, and I'm making it now, so I should be really excited. But what's actually propelling me through this project is I now have a project that I want to do far more than this. So I'm like, let's sew this up real quick smart so I can move forward. I think that's sad. I did just forget that the bottom strip of white needs to be about 5 inches instead of 4 because it has to be turned up to make the hem. So I'm just going to recut that pattern piece now. Here are my Where's Wally panels, which I'm just going to cut my pattern pieces out of now, I guess. Because happy is what happened. See, I couldn't be happier. So now I'm just going to do my best to pin these together, matching the stripes. And then I'm just going to have to figure out how to do the sleeve stripe placement. This is a series of fortunate events. What? Oh! It's perfect. That was a fluke. It was 100% a fluke. I didn't do anything special. I just did white, orange, white, and then I just cut my sleeve out from it. Really normal. I'll show you. So apparently that is not especially hard to do, so that's awesome. So literally I just have my 3 stripes, I folded it in half, and then I just cut it out. And I hoped for the best. Just give that a little press, and then you can kind of see how that's corresponding with the other pattern pieces, right? Pretty good. And then of course I'm just going to put right sides together, the side seam of the shirt and the side seam of the sleeve, and sew that as one long stretch, and that'll sew up the shirt. I need to change my ironing board cover, stat. Side note, stat. What I'm going to do now is divide my little collar piece into 4 sections and then pin those 4 sections equally around the neckline of my shirt. Sometimes you gotta sing the blues, oh baby. Alright, we're on. And then I'm just going to stretch this as evenly as humanly possible. That's the binding. It's good. I don't like that it's like this. Do you guys know why it does that? My hypothesis is that it's not small enough, like it's not getting pulled into the neckline enough, and I think I'm going to act on that and just see if I can take a little bit of length off this and see what it does. Okay, I went away for a little while to do some problem solving. I cannot even remember if I updated you on the collar. That taking off about 1 inch really worked, and I like it. I also did a little bit of top stitching. It's probably not perfect, but it's good. It's good enough for me. I decided to unpick my jeans hem and chop them. I've never done this before, but I was so gung-ho that I just chopped way too much off the bottom. I do not know what happened in my brain, but it was bad. So I actually ended up sewing the fabric back on, which is so stupid, but it's fine. And I did a 1 roll up cuff. So I hemmed it and then I rolled it up. And because of that roll up, you cannot see the divide, and it's fine, but I feel stupid. I just did 2 anchoring stitches on either side of the side seams with some thick embroidery cotton. Where is it? This. With this. The last part of this whole extravaganza is she has this cool little square patch on her jeans, and I really am not sure if I want it. I do want to wear these jeans just out in the world otherwise, but I feel like I at least need to conceptualize it and see. That little knee patch. I do have fabric that's kind of that color, but I would prefer to use this gingham that I used like a few projects past ago. I don't know. I'm sewing the patch. I asked Instagram and my Instagram follower said 1 patch. This is the last step. So I'm gonna hand stitch this bad boy on and I'm gonna see you when it's done. The patch is secured. I meant to film myself doing that and I just completely forgot to, so sorry. I hand stitched it on using this thread. Okay, final thoughts. Super fun project, lots of learnings to be had. I don't think I would work with stretch denim again if I can avoid it. It's not a beautiful textile in my opinion. I don't really enjoy sewing it and I don't really enjoy wearing it. It is comfortable, but I just like the firmness and the structure of regular cotton denim. I think it's kind of classic and awesome. So that's a thought. Really glad I added the patch. It adds just what I needed to the rest of the outfit. Oh, and my last thought is it was a really good decision to unpick the hand stitching that I did and just do a 1 fold up cuff. The little tacks on either side of the cuff are just perfect for keeping it up, but allowing there to be lots of this nice free movement. I wish I could have achieved the thickness of the cuff that Julia has on her pants, but I think that that's just an animated character thing. I don't really know if you can do that with this kind of denim. If you want to make the hat, I have that little pattern on my Patreon. The last craft club that was posted is this hat and it's awesome, so check that out if you're interested. And otherwise, this is the end of the video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for all of your questions from the last video. I will answer them in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. And please let me know how your projects are going. I love to hear about them all. Keep me updated with all of your sewing, crocheting, knitting, extravaganzas. And that's it. Let me show you the finished outfit. Bye!